All right, welcome back, everyone. We are jumping right into Module 9, and today it's all about a really critical piece of the AI puzzle, workload management. Okay, before we really get going, just the usual heads up. This is Module 9 of our 10-part tutorial, and it's all based on a really in-depth report from Virtualization Options LLC. Now, please remember, what we're talking about here is general guidance. It is definitely not a substitute for professional advice. So be sure to chat with your own financial, technical, and legal experts before you make any big moves. Cool? All right, let's get into it. So let's just tackle the elephant in the room right away. It's the big question, isn't it? We all know virtualization has some performance overhead. So why in the world would you ever saddle a super demanding AI workload with it? I mean, on the surface, it sounds kind of crazy. But as you're about to see, there's way more to the story than just raw speed. Yeah, this really is the core conflict, performance versus flexibility. We're going to move beyond just looking at benchmarks and really dig into the business value, and you'll see why the management capabilities virtualization brings to the table can be an absolute game changer for your entire AI strategy. You know, there's this one quote from the research report that just nails it. It says, while performance overhead is virtualization's primary drawback, workload management capabilities represent its strongest advantage. And that idea right there, that's the lens we're going to be looking through today. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's a deliberate and often a really, really smart trade-off. So where do these big advantages really start to show up? Well, let's begin with the one that gets everyone's attention, the bottom line. We're talking about smarter spending and getting a way better return on your investment. And it all starts with using your super expensive hardware a lot more efficiently. Okay, just look at this comparison. It's pretty stark. On bare metal, it's not uncommon for your pricey GPUs to be just sitting there, idle, more than half the time. Think about that. All that investment just waiting. But with virtualization and vGPU, you can share those resources, and boom, utilization jumps way up to 70, maybe even 85%. You're squeezing so much more value out of every single dollar you spent on that hardware. And this chart, wow, this is where the rubber really meets the road financially. Let's imagine you need to run 8 different inference services. On bare metal, that could mean 8 separate GPUs. Look at that 3-year TCO, over 160 grand. But with virtualization, you can run those same 8 services on maybe just 2 GPUs because you're using them so much more effectively. And the total cost? It gets slashed by more than half. I mean, that's not just some accounting trick. That's real money you can now use to fund your next big AI project. So here's the key takeaway, the big number, 51%. You accept a modest, maybe 10 to 15% performance hit on a single workload. And in return, you could cut your total cost of ownership in half. When you put it like that, it's an incredibly powerful argument, isn't it? But hey, it is not all about the money, even though that's huge. Virtualization also hands your IT and your MLOps teams what I like to call operational superpowers. It's all about gaining agility and making the day-to-day management of these complex environments so much simpler. Let's start with a classic, VM cloning. Now, it might sound basic, but you should not underestimate its power. We are talking about creating an exact, perfect copy of an entire virtual machine, the operating system, the apps, the data, everything, with just a couple of clicks. So what does this look like in the real world? Imagine your data science team needs a new environment to test out a model. Instead of racking servers and provisioning storage for hours or even days, you just select your template VM, hit clone, and that's it. A brand new, totally identical environment is ready to go in minutes. That's not just convenient, that's a massive competitive advantage. And the list just keeps going. You've got VM snapshots. Mess up an update? No problem. You can roll back to a perfect working state in seconds. It's like having an undo button for your entire server. Then you have things like cold migration for maintenance and way simpler disaster recovery. All of this adds up to an incredible amount of operational resilience that is just a lot harder to pull off on bare metal. Now, let's switch gears to another absolutely critical topic, security and isolation. Especially when you're sharing these super powerful, super expensive GPUs across different teams or different projects. Isolation is not a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. Think of the hypervisor as a super strict security guard standing between each virtual machine. It enforces separation right at the hardware level. This means there's no way for one tenant's workload to peek into another's data or mess with their resources. This is huge for security, for compliance, and for preventing those noisy neighbor problems where one greedy workload slows everyone else down. And you've got a whole menu of options to get this job done. For maximum flexibility, vGPU lets multiple VMs share a single GPU by time slicing. If you need raw, dedicated power for one specific VM, you can use pass-through. And then there's NVIDIA's MIG technology, which is really cool. It lets you literally carve up one big GPU into several smaller, completely independent hardware partitions. It gives you this amazing, fine-grained control over both performance and security. Okay, let's bring it all home with the final piece of the puzzle, which is really the ultimate advantage: dynamic control over your entire infrastructure. This is what takes virtualization from just a useful technology to a truly strategic platform for AI. You can do things like create resource pools with specific rules. So you can say, okay, our critical production inference workloads are guaranteed 70% of the GPU resources, no matter what. Then you can let your dev and test teams use any leftover capacity and maybe run low-priority batch jobs with whatever's left over. It's an incredibly smart way to manage your resources. And this opens the door to some really sophisticated strategies. Things like oversubscription, where you can actually provision more virtual resources than you physically have, because you know not everyone will be using them at peak all at once. You also get fair GPU time slicing and dynamic scheduling that automatically moves workloads around to make sure your whole cluster is running as efficiently as possible. So this brings us all the way back to where we started, that question. Is chasing that last 10 or 15% of raw single workload performance really worth giving up massive cost savings, incredible operational agility, and rock-solid security and control? When you look at the whole picture, the answer isn't so black and white anymore, is it? It forces you to think beyond just speed and start thinking about your overall strategy.